Watching, boys, I know you can win it.
I mean, the players didn't come up here to get their photo taken. They'll play well, they'll play strong, and I expect them to be in front at the finish.
We know Queensland are a good side, but we didn't come up here to lose this third game.
Live from Lang Park, Brisbane. The decider in the Winfield State of Origin Series. Queensland versus New South Wales.
Very good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lang Park. Well, this is it, the decider, the last of the State of Origin matches for the season. As you know, of course, it's 1-1 at this stage. Queensland winning here 3 weeks ago, and last week in the Sydney Cricket Ground, a win for New South Wales. With us once again is Mick Vivers. Mick, what do you think?
Well, I was going for New South Wales early, but now that Price is injured and out, takes all the leadership qualities out of New South Wales, and I feel Queensland are going to have a pretty easy win, Bill.
He did a lot of the covering work last week, didn't he? Had them organised, he did all that. They've got Mick Croner to do it in the backs, but he was the man that was keeping those forwards together.
In the forwards, he kept them all together. Certainly Gavin Miller will do his best at lock forward, but everything will slow down. They've got Jerd in as a replacement. Now, he's a front rower, and I saw him play last week, and he's just not quick enough to be a cover defending second row to pick up our backs, and I think if we get a fair bit of ball, and Lang Park, as you said, it's brisk here, a little bit windy, but it's quite sound, our big backs will really fly.
What about Brett Kenny? He's carrying a bit of injury, so he's got to be suspect.
He'd have to be suspect, and I feel that you'll see Hastings come on at some time in the match. Mortimer will go out into the back somewhere, and Ella might go to 5-8, but no matter what they do, I don't think they will stem the maroon tide tonight.
Well, Queensland had a few worries yesterday with Paul Vorton coming down with a stomach disorder, and Greg Kinescu, of course, with that sore foot, but they've passed today, so they're back in and ready to roll.
Well, they're probably the same as some of those New South Welshmen, Bill. They'll be feeling the injuries and or carrying them like most footballers are at this particular time of the season, but I'm sure they'll be able to carry them well enough to warm up and then get right into it, because they'll have to tonight.
There's been, some of them have had a lot of football lately with test matches, tours of New Guinea, and of course this interstate series.
Well, some of them say, well, that's great. The big fellas say they don't mind, but some of the little fellas, yes, they've copped a bit of a hammering and a pounding, and certainly will slow them down, and they've packed a lot of football into the last few weeks, as you've just pointed out.
Well, Mick, there's one other person we'll talk about. I'll do that just after we have a look at the teams here, and that, of course, is the referee, because I don't think we have time now. We'll be back in a moment and have a look at the teams for the big match tonight. Back there by Chris Anderson, who decides to run it up, and plenty of maroon coming in to take care of him in the opening stanza of this match. So that's Miller, the man who's taken over as lock forward, taken the place of Ray Price. They're very big shoes to fill, Michael.
Yes, I don't think he could fill them either, quite frankly.
Notice there too, Kinescu following through and let Maxi Krilic know that he's back here at Lang Park. Crowd, oh gee, there's another one coming through very solidly. Paul Fields copped a bit of a bump just after he got it, and there's the first kick of the match, and I think we're going to see quite a deal of this tonight, Nick.
Well, yes, they've got the wind with them at present, New South Wales. Probably can't see it, viewers, but it's there, and they will keep the ball in the air and down in Queensland's half if possible.
That's Mitch Brennan taking it up there. Mitch, of course, playing with Redcliffe back here in Queensland now. And we have, what, 2 New South Wales-based or Sydney-based players coming into this. Menenga away again, but a nice covering tackler's got to put him down. Steve Mortimer, the man there. Referee, by the way, of course, is the Englishman Whitfield, and there's the first penalty of the match coming up. We expect to see a few from him. He's made no secret of the fact, Mick, that anyone that is up offside, and he demands plenty in a situation such as this, and he's made it pretty clear.
Well, he's told both teams, and as you said, even he's already indicated in prior matches that he's refereed that he's going to do this.
Menenga not too good, by the way, Mick, coming back here. He's
no, he had in that last tackle.
Yep.
Had it break, but anyhow, getting back to Whitfield, he will have them back the required distance.
And a little bit more, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, let's hope he keeps it reasonable, because if he goes on with it too much, it'll just ruin a very good match, and we don't want that to happen.
Okay, so of course it's dead set level. Queensland won the first game here at Lang Park by 24 points to 12. There's Krilic having a look around his team, and there's the man in charge tonight, Whitfield, Robin Whitfield. New South Wales winning the return match, or the second match last Tuesday night at the Sydney Cricket Ground. They took it out by 10 points to 6. So this is the decider. And there's a man who could play quite a deal of it tonight. He's been prominent in the series so far, and that is Mal Menenga. He's back onto his mark. I don't think he's too hot after that initial tackle there. He's moving in, has that bit of a breeze, which from that end of the ground is blowing across field. He's going to miss it. Waved away. So the score remains 0-all.
Well, he stabbed at that one, didn't he? No flourish at all, no smooth motion. He just stabbed at it. And dear me, let's hope he's not injured. We could be in a bit of trouble.
So play will come back onto the quarter line. Mick Cronin, the man. Maxi Krilic, of course, back into the New South Wales side. They've had their injury problems. There's Paul Vaughton, one of the players that was in a bit of a doubt for Queensland. Colin Scott up over the halfway mark and hanging onto that ball grimly.
Oh, that's much better. That's more like the Scott we know. He was a little bit tentative in Sydney.
Well, he was making sure there that no one was going to take it off him. Dave Brown moving up. Another penalty. New South Wales penalised by referee Whitfield. Here we'll have a look at Dave Brown. Did he cop one there? Yes, it looks so he did. Johnston.
He didn't miss, and where's the head on there? Oh, well, two chops, but only one penalty.
Miller from one side and Johnston from the other. So now Queensland about 25 metres out from the New South Wales line. Dave Brown, he's not perturbed about the last lot. He'll go up for more.
That's taking it up. That's what we want to see from Brown all night.
They say, OK, this is Brian Niebling now. New South Wales defence very tight as you'd expect in the opening stanza of this match. Greg Kineski away from dummy half. Run right back to his supports. Coming through solidly is Wally Fullerton Smith. Turns it back inside to Vaughton. Vaughton going to be wrapped up.
Oh, good move, that one. Nearly came off. Nearly split them.
Kineski's up as the dummy half again. He'll send it away to Colin Scott. Krilic's there on the tackle. Miller's there also, but they're only about 5 or 6 metres out now. Dummy half Kineski. Over to Murray. Murray thought he saw the gap. He cut back inside. He's still going. Got to be picked up. Queensland in. Kineski the scorer. Queensland in for the first try of the match. Greg Kineski the man to do it. After only 3.5 minutes of play.
Oh, well done, Queensland, and they look very businesslike, and they're not passing the ball for passing's sake, as you will see here. Murray stepping in a lot of trouble, but the New South Wales defence couldn't put it down. Actually, that pass was meant for the man inside.
Which was Wally Lewis.
Yes, but Kineski picking it up nicely and saying thank you.
Have another look at it now. This will give you a good idea of what it's all about. There's Mark Murray. You can see him held up. Plenty of players here. Over the shoulder of Wally Lewis. Kineski said, oh my goodness, here we go. Coming in to try and cut it off was Jeff Buckman, but it was all over, and Queensland have scored the first try of the match.
And Mr. Whitfield right on the spot, as you could see there, viewers, right beside it. Following play was square with the pass, so everything above board. New South Wales in trouble, Bill.
My word. Whitfield did say during the week somebody criticised him for the fact that they thought he mightn't be fast enough to keep up with some of the fastest footballers in the world, but he looks all right so far. Here's Mal Meninga, a picture of concentration as he attempts to convert the try. It's on its way. Let's have a look at this one. Queensland's lead is 6 points to 0 here at Lane Park. They're off to another flying start. Both teams, though, Nick, showing that they're not messing about in this match. Some pretty hefty stuff in the forwards. Yes,
well, they haven't had much chance to, only a few encounters there. Dave Brown taking it up and getting a few chops, but quite amazing that the Queensland forwards didn't take it on. They popped it out to their backs, so that seems to be the trend for the evening.
Just having a look at the relative weights of the two packs. The Queensland pack weighs 50 kilograms, New South Wales 557, so weight-wise not a great deal of difference. They've loosed it there. That's Field with it, or Jerd rather. Jerd right on the quarter line. Coming up this time is Krilic. Krilic gets it away to Field. Field about 20 metres out from the Queensland line. But in the backs, Queensland have a big advantage. 624 kilograms to 557.5. Now we've got it again.
A solid defence from Queensland. I tell you what, that New South Welshman is not feeling good at all. They can't... Oh, it's Bugden, I think. Yes.
The tackler was Wally Fullerton Smith going in there. Eventually got it. Tesman took it up. Now coming through is the Queensland winger, and that, of course, is Steve Stacey. Dummy half Kineski. Kineski working it away. Queensland with an early lead, 6 points to 0 here at Lang Park. And they're about 30 metres out from the run line at this stage. About to play it is Gene Miles. Dave Brown is really taking it up tonight. Gerard the man over the top, and underneath is lock forward Miller. Wally Lewis going to give it back to them. Chris Anderson going back. He'll be able to take it. Turns around. Mitch Brennan in front of him. Brennan there to put him over. Also into the tackle, Brad Tesman. Dummy half is Mick Cronin. Turns it back to Anderson. Anderson had only just played. He says, Truth, what is going on here? What are you doing to me? Krilic from dummy half. There's a few blokes out there from this New South Wales team, Mick, don't look too keen to take it up at the moment.
I don't blame them one little bit. Looking at that, Bill, Tell you what, some good fierce tackling.
Krilic to Mortimer, then to Cronin. Cronin away to Anderson, nicely picked up. Wharton coming in. Brennan there, he means business. Hasn't been in the best of form in Brisbane this year, but he's making the most of it tonight. That was a knock-on. Referee Whitfield.
I believe Brennan had a very good game last week for Redcliffe, but well, he's been carrying injuries and all. I know it's a bad saying, but he looks like a robber's dog, so he looks pretty fit, Bill.
Waiting for the scrum to pack down. Just inside New South Wales territory. Queensland's lead is 6 points to 0 here at Lang Park. Penalty. Very definite about things is referee Whitfield.
I asked you to get up, and you wouldn't get up, he's indicating. A pantomime. I really don't have to tell you what he means. There's Max Krilic, thinking a lot but saying nothing.
Queensland getting 3 penalties to 0 now. They gave referee Whitfield quite a boo when he came out, but I think he's endeared himself to this Queensland crowd already.
A few more minutes in the game to go yet, though.
You're right there. OK, they'll take the tap. They're 30 metres out, Queensland. There's Dave Brown taking it up again, and ask that second row there and Stan Jerd what it's all about. And he'll let you know he's in a game of football out there at the moment. This is Brian Niebling. Gee, they're letting them run, aren't they, Mick?
Yes, far too far. They're not coming up.
Canescu able to run right away from the dummy half. Here they go again. Mortimer spotting onto Mark Murray.
Oh, well done from Mortimer. None of those Blues are coming up in defence much. See on the blind, they're back. A quick switch will catch them napping completely.
Miller and Field, the tacklers there. The man taking it up is Paul Vorton. Canescu from dummy half. There's Mark Murray looking around for support. It'll be taken. Lost. No, Field would end up with these knocked it on too. So we'll have a scrum.
Quite noticeable that Mark Murray's taking it away nicely and showing heaps of confidence and trying to do things with the ball early in the match.
Probably appreciate both teams, Mick. They don't have a mud patch in the middle. New South Wales penalty.
You can tell from the crowd.
Can you tell what it's for, Mick?
He showed us the lot.
Now we see Mick Cronin kicking for touch. Queensland's lead is 6 points to 0. And at the moment, 8 minutes of play gone in the first half. Queensland defence getting back. They're very eager to start moving. Krilic from the tap. Coming up there is Johnston.
Johnson stopped on that particular occasion. Did not take it up like he should.
Krilic from dummy half again. This is Stan Jerd. Wrapped up by the Queensland defence. Away from dummy half again, Mortimer. Kenny, then Cronin. Lewis is there. They've driven him back in the tackle. Mark Murray also. Dummy half, Mortimer. He's going to try for touch. Going back is Colin Scott. Scott up over the halfway. Wrapped up on the tackle of Miller. And over the top, Mortimer. G. Miles from dummy half. Dummy half this time is Greg Canescu. Mark Murray. They cut out Niebling. They cut out everyone, as a matter of fact. It'll be left to Mitch Brennan back there covering.
I think it's a blue ball, Bill, and that might be a little damper out there than we think.
Queensland retaining it, but only just, I'd say. Steve Stacey away from dummy half. Running up towards the halfway mark. Canescu. Queensland 6, New South Wales 0 at the moment. Wally Fullerton Smith. Been an outstanding State of Origin series for him. He was suffering from sore shoulders at the start of the week. Here's Lewis. He's on the go. Beautiful stuff. Wally Lewis inside to Mark Murray. He's going for that line. Hunt is at him, but Hunt will put him down just short of it. Up to play it. Dummy half, Colin Scott penalty. Wouldn't let him play the ball. Beautiful stuff by Wally Lewis.
Really good. He split them no trouble, as you could see here. They were all watching Vorton outside. And look at that. Pathetic defence, just the same, Bill. But beautifully done and well backed up Mark Murray on the inside. I thought he was going to make it. He had the throttle fully open. And look, he thought about the double movement and went, no, damn it, I won't do it. But they received the penalty, and I feel that was basically penalising Queensland. Should have let them go and played the advantage.
So now it'll be Mal Meninga to attempt another two-pointer here at Lang Park. But as you said, Mick, a couple of attempts at tackle there, not the best. Max Krilic, the first one, who had a go at Wally Lewis, and he was no chance.
Oh, brushed him off like a fly.
So now Meninga taking plenty of time. 50% record at the moment. I don't think he was 100% but he had that first shot at goal though. It was just after he got quite a heavy knock. Moving in, he'll be kicking straight into that teeth of breeze, no doubt about it. Straight as a die through the centre. Queensland's lead at Lang Park is 8 points to 0. Fields.
Actually, they've been quiet again, Bill, the New South Wales pack. And Bugden in there, not doing anything so far again. I don't know how he got back in that side.
Now here's the kickoff. Well, there's probably not too many of front rowers about down there. They've run into a few problems. Over the shoulders of Brennan, into touch in the in-goal area. Drop out from underneath the goal mouth.
Oh, and that shouldn't happen. As you can see, plenty of time to line it up. And should have fielded that one.
So Wally Lewis, the man to do the job from underneath the goal mouth. A big long one. Carrying back here to the fullback Marty Gurr. Gurr running it out. Before he's joined up there by the defensive Brian Niebling. Ted Glossop, who probably wouldn't be very happy with himself with his team at the moment and their performance. Have quite a deal to say at half-time. If the first 12 minutes of the game are any indication. That's Stan Jerd. Queensland have stolen it too. Yes, Dave Brown, the man to do it. Wally Lewis still gaining ground from the dummy half spot. Away from dummy half, Greg Kinescu. Doesn't seem to be any trouble with that foot, Mick. And that was the one that was giving him trouble yesterday. Paul Vaughton. Coming up the centre, Brad Tessman. Ooh, that was a bit lucky, but Miles scooped it up. Vaughton. Ooh, a bit risky there, and they lose it.
Silly passing from Paul Vaughton.
Stan Jerd will be the man to play it back for New South Wales. Tronan outside then to Gurr. Gurr out of one tackle, that of Mark Murray. Doesn't get away from Niebling though. Gets up to play it. Cronin from dummy half. Back over there to Miller. Miller can't. He's lost it too. Miller losing it in the tackle. Wally Fullerton and Smith to come away with it. Dummy half is Brian Niebling. This is Tessman.
Everything going Queensland's way at present.
Kinescu again. Dave Brown. Getting quite a bit of time to get his pace up before he runs into that New South Wales defence. Mark Murray. Back on to Niebling. Eventually, he bumped off Krilich, but eventually Jerd in the front row bugged him to take him. Dummy half this time, Colin Scott. Murray. Queensland's lead is 8-0. Lewis. Miles, rather. Miles turning back inside. Gets to the halfway mark. Dummy half, Fullerton Smith. The final tackle's on its way. So look for Lewis, and there he is. There's the kick. He's out after it. He's following through nicely. Gets a good bounce. He's a chance, but he doesn't. Picked up by Meninga, though. Meninga up over the quarter line. He's through the gap. He goes himself, and he will lose it on the line. No try. Lost by Meninga right on the line and the tackle of Gurr.
Oh, Arthur Beetson nearly swallowed his cigarette then. What a great run. Beautiful football from Lewis. New South Wales knew the kick was on, but Lewis put it infield, which was beautifully done. He followed it up. Bad bounce, but Mal Meninga following up didn't make it. Look, swooped on it, and then he had support outside, but didn't have to use it. A little bit of a swerve, and look at that, Jerd gave up. But unfortunately, trying to put it down, got very close to putting it down, Bill.
And more so from head on, it gives you a much better idea of what it was about. Went pretty close, but from behind, you could just see it fly loose. However, that's Colin Scott back with it, and plenty of excitement here at Lang Park. And Meninga, you can see him working across field to try and link up with his winger, which of course was Mitch Brennan. But then that gap seemed to get wider and wider.
Yes, they left Meninga to go to the winger and didn't need him at all.
This is Brian Niebling. Niebling to about 20 metres short of the halfway. 15 minutes gone in the match. Queensland's lead is 8 points to 0. Wally Lewis having a boomer so far. Kicks for touch, and this is going to be another beautiful kick. Midway between the quarter and halfway down in New South Wales territory.
And New South Wales looking very dejected. They're not covering in the kicks. They're going up in flat defence. Here it is again. And no one home. Look where Marty Gurr was. Miles away, and Anderson hadn't even dropped back.
So now referee Whitfield saying a few things, particularly the New South Wales front row, as Steve Mortimer feeds now. Get a good shot at straight through the tunnel. And referee Whitfield wants it in again.
He's disappeared.
He's in there somewhere.
He's holding them far too long, Bill.
Now in by Mortimer. I don't know who's got it over there. We can't get a good look at it at this stage. It'll be Mark Murray in the Queensland ball. Got it against the feed. More so against Steve Mortimer, I'd say. Here's Colin Scott in the back line around the corner to Miles. But a nice tackle over there by Ella. Wasn't Ella, it was Miller, the winger, covering across there. Or the lock forward, rather, in there.
Good cover defence.
So now it's Queensland finding quite a few holes in the New South Wales side. Mark Murray with a long pass coming across from Lewis. That's Brian Niebling. Niebling works his way up to the quarter line. Dummy half Canescu. Queensland 8, New South Wales 0. Dave Brown.
They're just standing and watching him run, which is really bad.
Away from dummy half, Fullerton Smith to Mark Murray, then away to Wally Lewis, turns it back inside. That's Paul Wharton. Wharton keeping it going. Mark Murray again. Juggled it. Final tackle. Back to Lewis. Lewis with the bomb. He's out after it. Marty Gurr's back there. Lewis up, out of his arms. Rolling loose. No try.
Oh, Wally Lewis is really keen to get with the ball tonight, isn't he?
That'll make some nice spectacular viewing from that head on too. Ted Glossop, what is happening, he says. What are they doing to me?
I think they're just those three New South Wales officials who we met in Sydney and looked after us, did the right thing as far as things. They were just saying how good that Wally Lewis really is, I think, Bill. Wondering if they could sign him up for any teams down there.
Now this is Jerd. Still going. He broke out of that initial tackle. Canescu and Mark Murray there. Max Krilic, the dummy half. Mortimer.
I feel Queensland have had a few opportunities and should have taken them, Bill, and if they let New South Wales settle down, it'll be look out.
This is Ella. He's lost it, but it's towed through over there by Marty Gurr. Going back is Colin Scott. Regathers. Starts to go. Working across field. Got away from Cronin. Still going. Now gets it to Vaughton. If Vaughton can get it away, there's a bit of trouble, but no, just not enough time there. Lewis is dummy half. Over to Fullerton Smith. He's about 5 metres short of halfway. Vaughton from dummy half. Stood bullocking his way. Gets up over the halfway line. That's it you can see there. Tackler was Hunt. Back over to Lewis. Murray. Lewis doubles around. Gee. Trying to knock Brad Tesman's head off then. Mark Murray from dummy half. Tesman with it this time. Pass to no one. Brennan comes through. Brennan thought he may have been offside.
Oh, he should have known. He knows the rules of the game.
So a penalty coming up to New South Wales.
And Mr. Whitfield said he was, and he wasn't. Certainly wasn't he that was offside. Probably another Queensland player.
Now, kick for touch with Mick Cronin. And a nice kick will bring play up to just inside the Queensland quarter. So here at Lang Park, we have just on 20 minutes gone. In the first half, Queensland have a lead of 8-0. Could have been a bit better than that. However, play goes on. That's Miller with it. Wasn't terribly tricky.
Marty Gurr was supposed to be coming, but the train was late at the station.
This is Field. Gets it up to the quarter line. Fullerton Smith there. Good shot. You can see what's going right on in that tackle. Krilic away from dummy half. Stan Jerd. He's lost it again. Anderson, the man to clean up the crumbs. He's right on the quarter line. Mortimer over to Kenny. Lewis right on top of him. He's lost it. That New South Wales player now. He's got to be offside, isn't he?
Yes, but he's playing the advantage.
Playing it.
Queensland get the ball, Bill.
They have too, so we're right. G. Miles. Now they'll send it back over there to Dave Brown. Niebling. Coming half Canescu this time. Could be still a little bit wet in the centre there. They've a little bit damp underfoot.
He's hurting that ankle this time, Bill.
Might have been when he just slipped over, Mick.
Yes.
Back over to Tesman. He's about 9 metres short of the halfway mark. As you can see, Greg Canescu there just holding that ankle from a moment. Wally Lewis driving it back. Marty Gers made a bit of a mess of it here. Knockback, says the referee. Oh, nice tackle.
Wally Lewis, beautiful.
Flew through the air to knock him over. Working across field this time is Hunt.
Playing a great captain's game as Wally so far.
Oh, inspiration galore there. This is Kenny. Cronin. Wrapped up in the centre. Plenty of defence there from the Maroons. 8-0 is their lead at the moment. Prillinch working right across field. On to Ella, then away to Anderson. Mark Murray across in cover. Nice tackle, but he got it back inside to Ella. This is good stuff, the Blues.
A great cover defence, the Maroons. And there's Glossop saying maybe there's a chance yet, or thinking there's a chance.
Miller back over to Krilic. Krilic can't go without the legs, and Paul Vorton makes sure of that. I think he got more of a surprise than anything. Flew at him from behind. Krilic down.
His teammate tackled him, Vorton, from Manly Warringah.
Steve Mortimer got a bit to say in centre field there too. Here it is. You'll just see Vorton launch at him from behind. Just as Max was running across field trying to link up.
Actually, I think it's Niebling that's caused the damage, coming in over the top. He's caught a knee of Niebling's, and I would hasten to add, accidentally.
Yes, he does look a little bit groggy, doesn't he?
And Wally, there he is, the mouth going at 90 mile an hour.
He's limping a little bit himself too, as Lewis.
He always looks like that. We spoke about that last week.
Penalties have gone Queensland way by 4-2. Scrums 1-0. And what else have we got there? New South Wales have lost the ball on 8 occasions. Queensland 7. Doesn't seem as many as that, but that's the story. So there's Paul Vorton, Brian Niebling. Standing there, waiting to see what happens to Max Krilic. He lines up against his Manly captain as he plays the ball.
They're saying a few words to each other, Max and...
So Mortimer works it back over there to Cronin. Nice high kick, but it's out on the full. Out on the full.
Didn't allow for that wind. It's much stronger than they think once you put the ball up above the grandstands here at Lang Park.
Comes whistling through that end there, doesn't it? Okay, Mark Murray to feed.
So everybody...
Murray breaking around that open side. Not a good pass. Colin Scott couldn't get near it. Picked up by Lewis, though. He got away from Miller. Sends it back over there to Colin Scott. Scott up to a couple of metres short of halfway. Dummy half volley, Fullerton Smith. Queensland leading by 8-0. This is Niebling. Bumps out of the tackle of field. Jerd's the tackler this time. He's the man underneath. The one over the top is Lindsay Johnston. Lewis. Tackled by Jerd, who just holds on to his boot. Mark Murray over there to Gene Miles.
Gene cutting back inside. He's falling for the old trick of them hunting him back. He'll have to start coming outside that defence shortly because he's starving his wingers.
New South Wales ball now as Mortimer takes it. Back over there to Johnston. Back to Mortimer. Little grubber kick. The referee will give a penalty here. He's lining up for it now. Penalty New South Wales. 5 metres inside Queensland territory.
Yes, he was certainly knocked over. Oops a daisy. As you can see, there's the short kick. And look, Niebling doing everything. Falling bodies, sprawling everywhere.
So now McCrona to kick the touch. Here's another shot of it. You see Mortimer. Could have been interesting had he followed out after it. I'd say Queensland would have covered it well. This is a bad miss. Doesn't find touch. Colin Scott does well to take it. Up over the quarter line. And for someone like Mick Cronin to make fundamental mistakes like that, things aren't good for the Blues. This is Dave Brown. Was going to let it go, but saw Jeff Bugden lurking through there. Would have been quite happy to take it off him. That's Niebling. Kineski to dummy half. Swinging it back to Lewis. Had a great first half so far. He'll drive it deep downfield. It's racing for touch. It is there. Just inside the New South Wales borderline.
Well, I tell you what, they don't have an answer to that at all. There it is again. Beautiful kick. Look at Anderson, not even chasing it. had given up before the ball even got there. And New South Wales looking a beaten side so early in this game, Bill. Quite surprising.
And the man that's done most of the damage was the man that was just on screen. Wally Lewis having a boomer here tonight. That's Kenny. And Lewis there to put him to the ground right on the quarter line. Dummy half, Mortimer. Don't want to give him too much room to move. Very handy little character. Can zip through a gap like crazy. Johnston. Wharton's over there. Has him wrapped up. Dummy half, Krilich. Back over to Miller. Kenny. Now pass to no one. Anderson will pick it up.
And they'd made the break then too. That's unlike Kenny.
Gurr sends it back to field. Not as prominent as he was last week, nor was Johnston.
No, I think they just lifted their games last week well above what they can play, and tonight we're seeing their normal run of play, Bill.
That's Steve Stacey coming in from the wing to take it. Has a run, but tackle up there by Ella. Dummy half will be Meninga. Can't get away from the tackle over there of Hunt. And eventually will play it. Back on to Lewis, the long one coming through to Murray. Got away from Mortimer. Now back inside then to Miles. Miles to just on the halfway mark. Paul Wharton to dummy half. Wharton about 10 metres inside New South Wales territory.
Made a mistake there, Paul. He ran away from his supports, unfortunately.
Dummy half, Canescu. This is Lewis. He got away from one tackle. He's working up the centre. Brad Tessman having a lot of trouble getting to that, but the referee will play the knock on.
The Queensland passing, not the best, Bill, is it? Now, no. Wally, we'd have to blame him for that one. Round the back and over. Should have been sweeter than that. He had a bit more time than, well, normal. See, onto the ground. You couldn't expect Tessman to pick that one off his toenails.
So now it'll be Mortimer swinging it away to Hunt on that blind side. Stacey's in there. Wraps him up in the tackle. Mortimer from dummy half. Coming on this time to Miller. Tackle by Stacey. Krilich to dummy half. Queensland lead 8 points to 0. And there's 13 minutes remaining to the half-time break. Jerd having trouble hanging on to the ball. Tessman said, let me have my arm back and you can play the ball, which he does. Krilich from dummy half. Mortimer juggles, loses. Meninga will pick it up. Meninga setting sail across field. Going through there is Miles. Gets it around the corner. This could be good. Fullerton Smith to Stacey. Stacey goes for the corner. This will be a try. Steve Stacey over in the corner. And Queensland have a lead of 12-0.
Oh, beautiful stuff, and from a New South Wales mistake. And you know, I remember the time that New South Wales used to score off our mistakes, but that was beautiful. And Glossop and his comrades looking very worried, and well, they might. They have no answer. There's Mortimer making the mistake. Now Meninga picks it up and away he goes. Now Miles is following like a shadow, accelerates beautifully. Now that still wasn't that good a pass either, but Fullerton Smith lines up, sucks the defence in beautifully, and Stacey over no trouble in the corner, and that's great looking football for me.
And that photographer in the corner got a nice shot of it too. Here's Meninga away again. Now there's the head on. Over there, as you can see, Fullerton Smith had to lean back a little bit to take it. Here's Stacey, got away from field. Now you'll see Gurr appear right on the line, but he's over for the try. Stacey, of course, in a situation like that, Mick, he's pretty hard to pull down.
Oh yes, he had a little look, saw where the cover was, and just set himself for the corner.
And look who's right beside them too, that referee Whitfield. Yes. He gets around it pretty well. So Mal Meninga lining up to attempt to convert the try. Queensland with a lead of 12-0. He's right over on the touchline.
Well, his leg didn't look too, what shall we say, sore on that occasion.
So now Meninga way back there. He's kicking from right in front of the grandstand. You'll get a good idea of how it's travelling. Travelling well. Through for another two-pointer. Queensland leading by 14-0.
And as I said on our prelim, Bill, I didn't think they'd be able to handle our back line at all with cover defence. Well, it's just non-existent, is it?
Look at this. Mark Murray getting around the corner. Here's Mitch Brennan with a bit of room to move. Brennan cutting to Anderson. Anderson can't get him into touch. Up to dummy half this time is Dave Brown. Dave Brown decides to go himself. Anderson, Steve Ella, the tacklers. Tessman over to Murray. Lewis away to Gene Miles. Ooh, tried to get it to Scott, but
worth the chance. That just tried to flip it out of the corner of his elbow, but well, didn't come off. But if it did, another try for Queensland.
Max Krilich was the man there to clean it up for New South Wales. He's back there again as dummy half now. Back over to Mortimer. Mortimer back, going to be knocked down. Ooh, Fullerton Smith in to do the job again.
They know they've been touched, don't they?
Well, Neil Hunt now will go back out on that wing after that. Don't say I blame him. Would be out there like a flash. Krilich to dummy half. Krilich back over there to Kenny. Lewis is right on top of him again. Meninga into the tackle also.
Dave Brown injured in that last tackle.
So now here's a bomb. They'll try something here. Krilich doing a bit of kicking. Mark Murray gets up and takes it nicely. Quickly going to be claimed, though, in the tackle of Marty Gurr. But here's Tessman over the quarterway. Tessman through a couple of tackles, still going. Can he get it away? Yes, he can. Brennan's away on the halfway mark. They won't catch him. Mitch Brennan over the quarter line, racing away, and is going to be over underneath the posts. And Queensland roar to a lead of 16 points to 0.
Oh, beautifully done, Brad Tessman. And everyone said he couldn't pass a ball. That is as neat a short pass as Mitch Brennan is ever going to run onto. And what a nice time to do it, coming up to half-time.
Here it goes again. Let's have another look.
He beats a couple of defenders. Look, 1, 2, 3. Now, what's this? Here comes Mitch. Zap. Beautiful stuff.
And away he goes. Of course, it was shut the gate after that.
Tell you what, look at Anderson. He looks like a draft horse chasing a thoroughbred.
Well, there he goes. Mitch Brennan in for a great try. Great lead-up work there by Brad Tessman. Outstanding work. Here it is again. You can see determination on the face. Has Ella hanging on to him and says, here, Mitch, I've done a bit. You go for your life. And it was shut the gate as soon as Brennan ran onto it.
Look at him go. Look at the determination.
Anderson just disappearing out of the picture, and it's Mitch Brennan arriving home. And very happy about that one. So it's Meninga with another one dead set in front. Queensland with a roaring lead of 18-0. 3 out of 4, Meninga. And you can make that 4 out of 5, and Queensland's lead is 20 points to 0. Big Arthur still smoking heavily, but not dragging on them as much as he was a few weeks ago.
Well, what can Ted Rossop do? Nothing. When you look at his reserves, he's got Kevin Hastings and Ray Brown, and I'd have them on there right now. And get rid of some of that dead wood that's out there in blue jerseys.
Queensland leading by 20-0, of course, in their last match here. They led at half-time. That was the first game in the series by 18-6. Colin Scott's away again. Canescu, no one around, though.
The crowd loving it.
Yes, they're up onto their toes at every opportunity. That's Brian Niebling. Jern was underneath, the other second row of field coming through. Mark Murray, Vaughton. Vaughton losing it, and the referee to play the knock-on. This is 10 metres inside Queensland territory.
Well, there's no doubt about it, that Queensland backline is just tearing the New South Welshmen to shreds. And
Penalty New South Wales, quick tap there by Mortimer. But Mark Murray to pull him down. They're leaning over him a bit. He's fighting to get up and play it. Dummy half is Marty Gurr. Gurr across to Miller. Kenny lets it go to Cronin. Cronin back to Kenny, but it misses him. Miller straight through his legs. Dived on by Tessman. Maroon ball again. 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Fullerton Smith the dummy half. Fullerton Smith to the halfway mark. Back on to Tessman. Tessman going to hold on to it here. Dummy half Canescu. New South Wales a bit keen to get up. Anderson out wide in particular. There's Mark Murray. Murray tried to dodge around.
Oh, he tried to do it. He tried to get behind them, which was good tactics because he had the men unmarked outside him.
This is Dave Brown up over the halfway mark. Plenty of room to warm up, Mick.
Oh, he's running. He's doing about 15 metres every time before he even gets to a blue defender. That's dreadful.
Here's Wally Lewis. He's taken high. That should be no. He's going to let that one go. play on. Well, he's let Queensland go through to get the advantage.
I think that Wally pulled a bit of a Dame Nellie Melba there too.
Here's Mark Murray. He's not pulling a Nellie Melba. He's going through very solidly. Dummy half is Canescu. Canescu, look at this. Gone for what? How far? 8 metres? 10 metres? Still had plenty of time to recover.
Oh, dreadful defence from New South Wales. Dreadful.
So a cross over there to Wally Lewis. Lewis, still they haven't put him down. He gets it around the corner. And Canescu over there. Dummy half waiting for it is Fullerton Smith. Head down. But they hold him up. Force him back a metre or two. Dummy half Canescu. The final tackle's here. Watch for Wally to do something. He'll take it now. Going to have a drop shot at goal and rub it in even a little further. 21 points to 0.
All the time in the world. Did you see that? All the time in the world to put that one over. No one even attempting to intercept the ball. I'm sorry, Bill. Aren't they looking great? And for the first time, I'm on them.
7.5 minutes to half-time here at Lang Park, and a Queensland lead, 21 points to 0. The one thing, though, Mick, as we've said a couple of times now, this New South Wales defence, not the best.
Well, it's making Queensland look a lot better than, well, they are, if you could say that.
Colin Scott coming in to take it. He's looking for Miles coming across, which he does. Miles slipping over just a little bit. He'll play it, Niebling the dummy half. Over there, Wally Fullerton Smith. They're hungry for points, though. Want to rattle up as many as they can. Paul Horton. He's come out of this series very well, Mick.
Yes, the Carrot Head has performed very well indeed.
Mark Murray to Lewis. Then across to Miles. Got away from Krilich. Lost the ball, though. Stan Jurt will dive on it for New South Wales. Dummy half Krilich. Over to Cronin. Cronin around the corner nicely to Anderson. Anderson wrapped up, though. Gene Miles, the tackler. Good bit of work there, Mick Cronin. Mortimer. Look at him go. Into touch.
Well, he's trying to do everything, and I can feel the frustration with Mortimer because he does not like to be beaten, as you could see. And some of these guys, as I said earlier, are deadwood in this New South Wales side.
Okay, here's Mark Murray round that open side. Lewis had to really go forward to pull that one in. Dummy half Colin Scott. Up over the quarter line. Tackler there was Field coming across. Canescu, way to Brad Tessman. Makes another 10 metres. Canescu to dummy half again, and he's going for a few more. Back over to Vaughton. Vaughton setting sail up the centre.
Well, I think they should run onto it nice, straight and hard because they're making ground every time.
There's Mark Murray. Got it back nicely to Colin Scott. He in turn gets it away to Niebling. Over the top to Mitch Brennan. Brennan tackled by Gurr. Dummy half Fullerton Smith. He'll send a long one over there. Picked up on the bounce nicely by Lewis. Lewis going to put the little kick following out after it. Mortimer loses it. Taken by Marty Gurr coming. No, it'll be Kenny coming through. Krilich from dummy half. Crowd gone silent here for a moment.
Because Wally's sitting down and they're all waiting for him to get up, and he hasn't got up yet, Lewis.
Dummy half up there once again is Mac Trilich. Queensland leading 21 points to 0. That is Miller, the man with the ball. 3.5 minutes remaining to half-time. Here's Mortimer again. The little kick coming up is Colin Scott. He'll get the bounce, got away from Mortimer. Krilich will hold him up at the halfway, though.
It's well covered by Meninga as well. He was watching what Colin Scott was going to do. There was good football from those two.
Dave Brown to Stacey looking for a bit of the action.
Yes, he's had a bit of a chill. Other than that try, the ball hasn't got to him too often.
Well, I suppose he's getting a bit frustrated when he can see the blokes in the middle having all the fun. And here's one of them that's had fun, Dave Brown. Dummy half. Here's Canescu again. Round to Murray. Lewis. Then to Fullerton Smith. Niebling. Is that Lewis down again? I think it is.
Yes, he got a late hit then. Really late hit.
That's Brad Tessman gunning some valuable ground again. Still going. Gene Miles, the dummy half. Back to Murray. He's going to put up the bomb. Marty Gurr is back there. Niebling flying across field. Nicely taken by Brett Kenny, though. Dummy half is Chris Anderson. Lewis receiving some attention in centre field at the moment. 2.5 minutes to half-time, so we have a little bit of a rest then. This is Field. Vaughton and also Mitch Brennan in there for the tackle. Krilich dummy half.
Oh, it's in the vicinity of his rib cage, I think, Bill.
That's the front row, Bugden. Yes, he seemed to be holding that a while back there.
But he always puts the hands on the hips. That's Wally's style. You never know whether he's foxing or not.
This is Jerd. Crunching tackles.
Fullerton Smith again. Did you see he made his head whip?
Dummy half is Krilich. Things slowing down just a little bit. Crowd have had plenty of action. There's Mortimer following out after it once again. He can't handle it. He'll knock it through and keep it going. And so we'll have a knock on. Of course.
Well, he's got to try it because there's nothing happening on either side of him. He's the whole team, as you can see here. And I tell you what, he's only got to pick up a couple of those, and New South Wales back in the game.
Now, the man to feed the scrum, of course, is Mark Murray. And there's 1.5 minutes to go to half-time. Murray having a bit of a look over his shoulder. Lewis is outside of him. And that's where he gets the ball. Gee, that was a low pass going out to him. Lewis was going to let it go to Meninga, but decided to hang on to it there. Meninga having a run up the centre. Dummy half Canescu. Crowd are getting thirsty, Mick. They probably want to try before half-time. Gene Miles, not a good pass again.
I thought he'd have to be offside. Came off a blue. Well, Mr. Whitfield, he's certainly letting the game flow.
This is Field.
Haven't seen him all night, have we? Which is the sign of a good referee.
We're expecting a few penalties early in it, but there's only 8 penalties so far in the match, which is a little bit less than his 23 penalties in the KB Cup during the week.
True. I tell you what, New South Wales going at half pace. They are just wandering around out there.
Max Krilich thumped to the ground this time by Greg Canescu. Coming up to half-time here at Lang Park. Tries for Queensland by Canescu, Stacey and Brennan. Mal Meninga has put over 4 goals from 5 attempts, and of course no points on the board for New South Wales. Lewis also that field goal. Thanks, Mick. And Fullerton Smith, knowing that it's coming up to half-time, and decided to just go through. Look at Whitfield come in very quickly here as Brennan and Miller could have almost got down to a bit of business. So there's a half-time lead for Queensland, 21 points to nil, 21 to nil. A great lead for them at the half-time break. Back in a moment with the second half of this match. Well, they've done it for the first 40 minutes of the match here at Lang Park tonight. They're leading by 21 points to nil. No changes to either team at the half-time break. A little bit surprising, Mick?
Oh, totally surprising. I would have had those two guys, Hastings and Ray Brown, on there that quickly that it doesn't matter. They should have been out there before the half-time break.
That's Wally Fullerton Smith taking it up. Mortimer, just about the only real goer in the New South Wales team in that first half.
Yes, and of course he was making mistakes. Now look at that. Once again, Dave Brown running about 20 metres, just waddling through pathetic defence.
Now back over to Mark Murray. Murray turns it away. Lewis quickly on to Miles. He got away from Krilich, was able to get the pass back to Lewis, sent it on then to Vaughton. Vaughton to Niebling. Niebling away to Mark Murray. He'll be taken by Mick Cronin. They're about 8 metres short of the halfway mark, Queensland. Lewis going to kick for touch again. Hunt will take it along on his feet, and eventually Marty Gurr, the man to pick it up, swings it away to Hunt. Hunt got away from Lewis. Can't get away for the next tackle, though. That will be, of course, Gene Miles. So now it's Max Krilich there. Over to Mortimer. Krilich doubles around. Johnston coming up. Dummy half Krilich again. Over to Jerd. Turns it back inside. Coming up is Bugden. 20 metres short of the halfway mark, New South Wales. The Queensland lead, 21 points to nil. 3 tries in the first half by this Queensland team. 4 goals by Meninga. And, of course, a field goal by Wally Lewis. Now, back there to Colin Scott. Takes it safely. Hasn't put a foot wrong all night, Colin Scott. Work it up to get away from Kenny. Still going. Tried to get it around the corner. It'll bounce high. Ella can't get it. Meninga can. Play on, says a referee. Meninga up over the quarter line. He's still going. Can he keep going? No, he can't. Lost his balance, but he's into touch.
Oh, great play from Queensland. They're capitalising on mistakes from New South Wales. And there's Kevin Hastings, just dying to get out there.
Meninga, by the way, Mick, with heavy strapping around his right ankle, as viewers would have seen when he did skirt down that touchline. In this time by Steve Mortimer. He's knocked it on at the back of the scrum. Penalty coming up now to Queensland. Obviously, no, he's just backing it down again, saying it's a Queensland feed.
He's waving his arms around, yes.
Hands nice and high. So Mark Murray across over there to Lewis. Oh, beautiful flick pass by Lewis to Mark Murray. That's treating the opposition with total disdain. He's lost it, regathered.
6 to go, he says.
Greg Kinescu from dummy half. Over there to Brian Niebling.
Yes, that's utter confidence when you can do that, and great understanding. Top marks also to Murray, because he didn't expect it to be coming from that particular area.
So Kinescu gets it back to Murray, then across to Meninga. Meninga deciding to have a go himself. Now he gets it away to Brennan, another one on the board. Mitch Brennan will run right around and place it down. Mitch Brennan in for yet another Queensland try, and it's 25-0.
Oh, and doing it beautifully. The way Meninga held up that pass was just something to behold. Watch him. Now he gets hold of it, and he thinks about passing it. A bit of a dummy. He lost 3 of them there. Now look at that pathetic defence. Beautiful short pass. Brennan on no trouble at all. Great stuff.
G. Miles outside if it was needed, but no worries.
And here we'll see it again, Bill.
There's Mark Murray and Meninga. You can see that strapping on the right ankle, but through he goes. Now gets a pass away to Mitch Brennan. He says, this is a breeze. How long's this been going on? Runs around and is over for the try. 2 tries by 3. Mitch Brennan scoring 3 minutes into the second half. He scored 3 minutes after the start of play, and a very worried Max Krilich down there at the moment.
Well, I tell you what, they are copping one hell of a drubbing, and it's beautiful football being played by the Queensland. Did you see the little half skip that Meninga did on the way in? Oh, bamboozled them completely.
So now there's the kick by Meninga. Through it goes. So Queensland have opened up a big lead here at Lang Park. 27 points to 0. Way back under the halfway mark, and that's Mick Cronin. The man to kick off now. Referee Whitfield just doing up his boot. And it's on again. Down to Colin Scott. Takes it safely. The run up over the quarter line. Cronin coming in from one side. Miller from the other. Now here's a reserve coming up. It looks like Hastings warming up. There's Tessman.
For a small man, he's treating this New South Wales forward pack with total disdain.
Kinescu away from dummy half. He gets up to a couple of metres short of halfway. Murray to Lewis. Lewis across over there to Gene Miles. Ooh, a little bit far this time, but they pull it down. Mitch Brennan. Away from dummy half, Gene Miles. Trying to push away the tackle of Anderson.
Keen to get on with it, aren't they, Queensland? They're really going in for the kill.
I think they can sense big blood here at the moment. So that's Mark Murray. Tackled up there by Lindsay Johnston. Hastings warming up, but he hasn't come on as yet. There's the kick by Waddy Lewis. Rolling deep down towards the New South Wales in-goal area. Marty Gurr will take it back there just short of it. Well and truly wrapped up though. Some 18 metres out from his own line. Away from dummy half is Jerd. Player to leave the field is Field. And Hastings coming on. There's Field departing. Coming through quickly is Kenny, but dived up by Colin Scott. And Hastings straight into it. So he takes the place of Field. Be interesting to see what happens when they work their team out, Mick.
Yes, the shuffle. It'll be interesting to see where they put him. there's about 5 spots he could drop into, Bill, because there's 5 dreadful players out there for New South Wales tonight.
All right, well, let's have a look. We can see he's probably going to go into lock. Yes, it looks as though Miller's going into the second row and Hastings lock forward. Scrum is midway between the quarter and halfway down inside New South Wales territory. Queensland win it. This is Mark Murray. They want it against the feed then. Hastings the tackler. Dummy half Paul Vaughton. Vaughton across to Lewis. Then away to Vaughton. Turns it back inside. Fullerton Smith.
Probably Queensland would be much better suited to flick it right out to the flanks now and make those New South Walesmen really run.
Oh, Tessman got it away there to Kinescu. It was nice stuff again. New South Wales ball though. Following that. That's the front row, Johnston. Max Prilich. Over to Miller, then to Jerd. Mark Murray bundles him up, throws him to the ground. Prilich from dummy half. Hastings. Murray again. Arthur, have another one. Mick Cronin. Players flying everywhere over there. Eventually it'll be Brett Kenny to play the ball. Now a kick for touch. Got to find it. Steve Mortimer coming through. Scrum's about 12 metres inside New South Wales territory. Things starting to slow down a bit.
Well, we've had pretty rip-roaring sort of a start.
That's Gene Miles cutting back inside.
And yeah, how many times have you said that tonight? Cutting back inside. We don't want him doing that.
Here's Colin Scott. He keeps it going to Mitch Brennan, who's certainly looking for some action. Found it over here with Miller. Tackle him rather heavily. That's Steve Stacey. Stacey working up to the quarter line. Gaining valuable ground each time, this Queensland team, and they handle the ball. Mark Murray. Through the gap he goes, up over the quarter line. Niebling picked it up nicely on the bounce. He got away from Jerd and he's in. Brian Niebling in for yet another Maroons try. They're into the 30s.
And I think the way they're going, they'll go into the 40s. What a beautiful bit of work from Murray. He went through well, it was just a normal wraparound, and he should have been eaten alive. Watch the New South Wales defence. Look at the 4 players there, and he goes straight behind them beautifully. Now, this pass from him wasn't the best, but beautifully picked up by Niebling, and he was really defrocked there by Jerd, but not a good attempt at tackling over. Oh, Queensland slaying.
Another look at it here. Round he goes, and through he goes. Watch Niebling followed him through there. As you can see, not a good pass at all. Niebling did tremendously well. He had Brad Tessman outside of him if he was needed. Tackled from behind by Jerd, but Queensland are now leading by 31 points to 0.
And as he went over Niebling, did you see that hungry look as he put the ball down?
Here's Meninga to convert the try. Convert it. He certainly does. It's 33-0 at Lang Park.
So I've seen the scoreboard looking like that.
And a very strained look on Mick Cronin's face. He'll be sorry he came back into this business. He was safely out of it. Here's Brad Tessman again.
Yes, classed as one of the great players in one of the great eras. And here he is, running around with an also-round pack by the look of this.
And here's the crowd starting to get hungry already. They're chanting, "We want 50." There might be a chance of getting close to it too, the way things are going. Kinescu to Mark Murray, then to Lewis. Lewis with a long one, running onto it is Meninga. Then away to Miles, doubling around. Miles up to about 5 metres short of halfway.
Oh, they're playing champagne football, and I haven't had the excuse to use that word for a long, long time.
That is Mark Murray. Final tackle's coming up as Vaughton decides that he'll have a kick for touch. How's he going to fare? No good. He's well and truly out in the full. Everyone's trying a bit of everything now.
Yes, it'd been much better to put her on the deck, I think. Would have looked better.
So it'll be Steve Mortimer to feed this scrum. We've had 10 minutes of the second half gone. Gee, that was a bit very suspect. Anyway, New South Wales to spin it. That's Cronin. Not about the 50, Nick, but keeping New South Wales scoreless would be one thing that hasn't happened in an interstate series for quite some time. It's Chris Anderson.
Queenslanders look so fresh. They know they've got them shot to pieces. It's given them great confidence.
Krilic doubling around, but he's put down a couple of metres inside Queensland territory. Only the one change to the New South Wales lineup, and that was the man who just passed at Hastings. He came on for the second row, Paul Field. He's gone into the lock forward position. Miller's gone up to the second row. Here's the final tackle. Mortimer, he'll try a kick. Straight to Colin Scott. The referee's ruling a knock on though.
Yes, knock on. He dropped it. Top decision, but the crowd not happy with that.
We'll wait for Steve Mortimer to feed. No, it must have been a penalty. It's given straight away. Mortimer taking another one now. Things are really happening out there. He'll play it. Towed through by Wally Lewis. Queensland will end up with it.
Oh, it's getting a bit Rafferty's rules there.
Took a while to totally settle down, but Queensland have got it now. And Kanescu away from dummy half to Mitch Brennan. Hasn't he relished the chance to get back into the big time? 2 tries by Mitch Brennan tonight. Kanescu a try, Stacey a try, Niebling a try. Meninga 5 goals and Lewis a field goal. And Gene Miles with the boot right underneath this one. Or 6 out of 7, sorry, 6 for Meninga. Converted 5 tries and also kicked a penalty. It's Marty Gurr. With Lewis, or rather it's Fullerton, Smith and Vorton there. New South Wales up to about 10 metres short of the halfway. That's Hunt, Neil Hunt, the winger, the man with the ball. Krilic to dummy half. Up to the halfway mark. Hunt is dummy half again. To Mortimer. Plenty of defence there, but he gets the pass back. That's Hastings. Hastings now gets it on to McCronin. Here's a bit of a chance. Back inside it goes. They send it over the top. Still going. Props. Kenny turns it around. Nice piece of work. Anderson will get over. Yes, Anderson in the corner. And the first New South Wales try.
Yes, and neither Arthur nor the crowd happy, and neither are Queensland boys, but some good individual work from 2 hard workers. There's one, and now here's Hastings, hardly on the field and moving the ball nicely. Cronin, the old master, and they went right on with it here in New South Wales. Then out to the winger again, and of course Anderson basically unmarked, although the cover was still coming. Good work from Queensland.
Let's have another look at it now. Back over there to Mortimer. Plenty of defence there, but he still manages to get it away. Hastings there, dodging, doing all sorts of things. Cronin on the bustle. Inside to Marty Gurr. Over the top then to Kenny. They're at to reach up a bit. There's Brennan. He cuts away from Brennan and then sends it back over there to Anderson. So New South Wales have broken their duck. Their first points on the board.
Yes, and I'll say this, I was very disappointed there. Greg Kanescu not chasing like he should have. Once the ball had beaten him, he should have been into top gear and been after it. And that try converted by Cronin.
Yes, McCronin putting out one over from the touchline. Queensland leading by 33 points to 6. Jeff Bugden leaving the field for New South Wales. And the replacement on there for him, of course, is Ray Brown. So it didn't take too well. It has taken a while now, hasn't it, to get these players on?
Well, I suppose if he gets any injuries, he's going to be playing with 12 men. It'd make it a little embarrassing.
But they have been.
Well, it has been. It's been a fizzle.
Here's Wally Lewis now putting the ball into play. Marty Gurr back there. Back into the in-goal area. Now running up into the field of play. A tackle up there by Brian Niebling.
It's strange, Bill, you know, Ted Glossop, he wanted to hear the Lang Park patrons quiet.
Just another good shot of that goal of Mick Cronin's,
yes.
Flying straight through the centre. Very similar to Mal Meninga's from out there, where there was no doubt about it.
And just finishing, they're quiet now, but it's not the quiet that Ted Glossop was waiting for.
From it. They're anxious for more points on that board. They've been spoiled a bit here tonight. They've had plenty of action. Here's Mortimer. Miller sending it, lost by Mick Cronin. Queensland will end up with it. Mitch Brennan getting it back over there to Tessman. Gee, it's a bit sloppy, but they've been able to get away with it. That's Mark Murray. Just on the New South Wales quarter line now. Murray to play it. Kinescu to Lewis, then across to Dave Brown. Brown still on the quarter line. Kinescu again. Gene Miles. On to Colin Scott into the back line. He in turn sends it back to Miles. Miles will be tackled by Stan Jerd. Gets up quickly to play it. Stacey to Lewis. Then across to Fullerton Smith charging through. Just couldn't keep it going there. Lewis to dummy half. He'll clear it with that big long pass because that's what they need. Mark Murray will turn it back inside to Colin Scott. Colin Scott to Brad Tessman. Tessman gets it back to Gene Miles. He gets it over there to Fullerton Smith. Fullerton Smith a couple of metres short of that line. But they've lost
6 tackles to go.
6, yes. Touched by the opposition. They'll put plenty of pressure on now. New South Wales, he said he'll pay that. He'll let them have possession there. Gene Miles not terribly happy about it, but they've got it. Down just about 5 or 6 metres out from their own line, New South Wales.
Be interesting to see the selections they come up with for that test side after this, won't it?
Well, yes, you could say that. Now, Brett Kenny. Oh, Ella going without it. Not a good pass to Ella, though. He's going to play that knock on. So the scrum about 10 metres out from the New South Wales line. Queensland's lead is 33 points to 6. Mark Murray. The Queensland ball. He took it through the legs of Mortimer. Eventually got it off him, but a penalty. Morton taking the tap, sends it away to Lewis. Lewis in turn out to Meninga. Meninga will be tackled there by Steve Ella. Meninga will play it to Lewis again. Lewis to Mark Murray.
Had a good game tonight, Murray. He's been very industrious. He's been right into it.
He'd be into it again if he can get up and play the ball. That's Lewis. Keeps it going to Miles. Back inside again. Now he finds Colin Scott following him through. In turn to Fullerton Smith.
They're passing it that often, Bill. They're getting giddy.
Stacey decides to come in. Crashing for the line is Stacey. Couple of metres out. Away from dummy half. Dave Brown goes for the line. He's in. That's a try. Another try for Queensland. Dave Brown, the man to score it. Now the Queensland lead at Lang Park.
Look at this. Just straight ahead going. And not good defence. Look at it.
A little bit dicey.
Very dicey. But look at that. A little friendly rub from a Queenslander who's unseen. We shall see who that is for Dave Brown.
Fighting his way for that line.
In it goes, and I think it was Stacey coming in, is it? Yes. Look at Stacey, elated with it. He leaps in the air. I'm sure that's who it is that gives Dave Brown a rub on the head. Oh, mate, I think he nearly dropped that. Although it was somebody else's hands coming through. Very confusing situation.
He's got one hand. Oh, I don't know. The more I've watched it, the more confused I've become. But it's been paid as a try by referee Whitfield.
And Colin Scott kicking. Mel Meninga not well.
I thought he hurt himself in that last tackle there,
yes,
Mick.
he did, Bill. And, well, sensible to take him off.
The Queensland lead is 37 points to 6. Meninga tonight has been able to put over 6 out of 7. Great effort. Gives you an idea of what Colin Scott has before him. Here's the kick on its way. It'll be waved away, so the score remains 37 points to 6. Queensland leading New South Wales.
Doing in the heart of the Lang Park.
This is going to be penalty coming up to Queensland. Anderson coming through, but it hadn't travelled the distance.
And they're very unhappy, those Blues. And well, they might be.
Well, there's not much doubt about it when you have a look here, Mick.
Oh, yes, he's well inside. 2 or 3 metres back. She was a foregone conclusion. What was I trying to say?
Well, there's no doubt about it.
A foregone conclusion, Will.
Now there's the kick. Wally Lewis taking no chances with it. Onto the mark is Greg Kinescu. Dave Brown. Brown almost up to... He's up to the quarter line.
He just ran over his clubmate, Max Krilich, unceremoniously.
That's Brian Niebling. 37-6 and still 21 minutes remaining in the match. Kinescu. Dummy half Brian Niebling. Here's another move on the way. Oh, they almost got caught with it, but Murray sends... Oh, it's going to be lost by Fullerton Smith. That planned move was in trouble right from the start.
Yes, you've covered that beautifully.
Now Mortimer. New South Wales ball. Marty Gurr.
And I have to say that Mr. Whitfield has had a very, very good game, Bill. Let it flow.
Yes, we haven't seen much of him at all. We expected to see a lot of him early in the match with penalties, but very few of those. 11 penalties in the whole match.
Which is terrific, really.
So now, here's Steve Mortimer. Well wrapped up. Tackler is Mark Murray. He's going to pack down a scrum now. A little bit of mystery. We'll have another look at it.
Actually, the crowd is stunned. Yes, when he...
No, it just...
Little gamesmanship there. Well done, Mark Murray.
He's up there as the dummy half now. It's a Queensland ball. Back over there to Paul Vaughton. Lost this time by Tessman. There's going to be a penalty come up. Did Tessman get one?
Well, I didn't see anything there. Probably...
I did see Tessman fall over later, but...
he was... We'll see if we have a replay what happens, but I couldn't see too much wrong with that.
He said that Miller put one in. Miller shaking his head.
And saying he's seeing things.
Lewis is going to kick the touch. Now, Queensland to take it from here. They're about 16 metres out from the New South Wales line. Their lead is 37 points to 6 at the moment. That's Kinescu. Dummy half waiting for it is Brian Niebling. He'll take it across over centre field just that little bit further. Dummy half waiting for it, Kinescu. Referee Whitfield in there having a good look at what's happening. Speaking to Johnston, the front rower. Lost by Tessman. Stan Jerd will end up with it.
Tessman starting to drop the ball in the latter part of this game, and it's, well, it's blotting out a very good game he's had. It's a pity he's rushing onto the ball like he is.
Mick Cronin kicking for touch.
Well, I suppose, Bill, at 37-6, after the good work he's done, he's allowed to drop one or two, isn't he?
I'd say so, Michael. So now they'll take the tap with Max Krilich up there just short of the quarter line. Still the Queensland defence coming in there. Johnston playing it back over to Krilich, then to Stan Jerd. Mortimer coming through as Ray Brown. Got it back inside. There's Mortimer. They keep it going. Oh, Anderson going without it. And the ball will be into touch. Something starting to grind down a little here at Lang Park after so much early excitement for this big Lang Park crowd. It's a New South Wales ball. Mortimer over the top to Marty Gurr. New South Wales winning it against the feed. Johnston, or rather Miller, still going. Krilich is dummy half. Over there to Mortimer. Back the other way, Ray Brown. Inside to Kenny. He got it going to Jerd. Jerd getting close to that quarter line now. New South Wales making a bit of headway. So they haven't done much off tonight. Mortimer back over to Kenny again. Then Cronin. Still going Cronin. Eventually Dave Brown takes care of him. Dummy half. Krilich to Brown. Then Kenny. Tackled by Lewis, but able to get the pass back. That's Hunt. He got away from Mark Murray. He's just missing a few tackles in the last couple of minutes. Hastings is going to try the bomb. Colin Scott is back there. He loses it. It'll be in the hands of Mortimer, and that's a try. Steve Mortimer in.
Yes, and that's true. Correct decision. Mortimer taking it off Colin Scott. It bounced off him and over for the easiest of tries for New South Wales. What a pity, though, Queensland is allowing them to put these points on the board. Not a bad bomb. Watch Colin Scott closely. He goes up and it bounces off him straight backwards. And thank you, says Mortimer. And one of the men who have tried very hard for New South Wales tonight. He can hold his head up, but I tell you what, there aren't too many on that blue side that can.
Here it is, another look. And it'll give you a good idea of exactly where Mortimer was. You can see him standing there, boom, straight off Colin Scott. And the referees are awarding a try before they get there. And it has been converted, so it's 37 points to 12 here at Lang Park. Ready for the kickoff coming through. That's Chris Anderson. Anderson up to the quarterway. 15 minutes remaining in the match. 37 to 12, Queensland lead. That's Miller. Tackler Paul Vaughton. Krilich from dummy half. Mortimer to Jerd. Jerd left on his lonesome out there. Away from dummy half, Hastings.
Be interesting to see if Arthur Beetson brings on Astle or Jones. I don't think he'd have to, but it'd be nice to give them a run, wouldn't it?
Well, at this stage, yes, just as you speak, as a matter of fact, Mick, I think Bruce Astle, is it? Yes, it is. Bruce Astle warming up on that touchline. So at least he is going to get a chance.
And I think it might be Meninga, the man could be replaced.
New South Wales lose it. Lewis ending up with it. Miller not happy. He said that he was held back, and I agree with him a little bit, but this is Gene Miles getting up close to the New South Wales quarter line.
Stacey threw Brad Tessman out of the road.
He's very keen to get on with the job. They're calling for someone to leave, but no sign of anyone going as yet. Lewis out to Meninga. Then away to Colin Scott. He got up and started to go again. Claimed by Anderson from behind. Wharton's the dummy half. Now Astle coming on, Meninga leaving. Queensland knocking it on. There he is, Mal Meninga leaving the field. And going up there to take his position with the Queensland team. Oh, there's reserves anyway. In by Mortimer, out by him, away to Cronin. Nice tackle there by Gene Miles. Away from dummy Hunt. Half is Hunt. Lewis over there. This is Miller. Kenny, then Gurr. Gurr starting to move. Gurr getting up to the halfway mark. Colin Scott coming across. There's plenty of blues about, although lost it. Lost by Kenny. And that was a try gone begging.
Oh, dreadful play. Wide open and dropped the ball. No excuse for that one.
Big chance for New South Wales. Here it is again. Marty Gurr looked outside. Now the look inside. Oh, Brett Kenny was into the basket and then out. Back line, penalty New South Wales. Lewis holding Mortimer back and then throwing it back. Whitfield not seeing it. Kenny saying, what is happening over here? after Krilic was having a bit of a say-so to the referee.
Actually, Mortimer wanted to take the quick tap, but that averted all that.
Yeah, here's the kick by Mick Cronin. Just inside the Queensland quarter. Stan Jerd. Jerd going to be wrapped up. So they'll play it now. New South Wales building their total up to 12 points now. Mortimer. Crowd going rather quiet here since they've had this short fight back by New South Wales. That's Gurr again. Gets it away to Anderson. Anderson's going to be into the corner. Yes, Anderson in for another try. His second try of the match. And Queensland easing up somewhat here at Lang Park.
I tell you what, they don't want to ease up too much more. I know there's only 11 minutes to go, but you let these New South Welshmen get their heads up as we watch this again, a replay. Good bit of work from Gurr. Brennan missed Gurr badly. Didn't even want to go in with the shoulder, and that's not good. And, well, they're starting to get their tails up a bit, Bill.
Yes, they're starting to throw it around, and things are happening for them. There's the Queensland team. Well, there's Anderson going in, but the Queensland team in the in-goal area at the moment. Quite a huddle. And they really had New South Wales shot to bits. They get back, getting it back into it somewhat. And Michael Cronin with a very wide kick once again. He's had a 100% kicking record tonight, as Mick. Let's see what he can do with this one. He's on his way. Doesn't look too bad. It's there. Another good kick by Mick Cronin. So Queensland lead New South Wales by 37-18. Just under 11 minutes remaining. Ted Glossop pondering what's been happening this evening.
Contemplating 9 ways to commit an Harry-Carry, probably. No doubt about it. Queensland will want to keep on with the job.
Jenna Lewis to kick off. Taken back there by Chris Anderson. Gets up just over the quarter line. Missed on the opening tackle by Fullerton Smith. Now this is Miller. Dummy half waiting for it is Ray Brown. Krilic comes in and takes over. Mortimer back the other way to Brown. Let it go. It's going to be lost, I think, there by Dave Brown. No, Queensland ball, he says. Canescu ended up with it.
It's quite noticeable since those two players, Hastings and Brown, have come on. New South Wales have shown a bit of sting.
Here's Fullerton Smith getting up close to the quarter line. Jones incidentally warming up on the touchline for Queensland. Canescu to Mark Murray. Murray trying to find a gap in the centre. Vaughton back to Lewis. Gets his pass back to Vaughton. Vaughton taken in the tackle of Stan Jerd. Now Gene Miles, dummy half. Murray. Tessman. Murray. Tackle by Jerd. Final tackle. Haven't done much on this occasion with the ball. Lewis will put up the bomb. Back there is Marty Gurr. Almost took it out of his hands, but Gurr will come down with it. Under a lot of pressure on that occasion. And Lewis doing well to get up there, actually, because he was half grabbed after he put that ball high. There it is again. Going close to...
Yes, Gurr very lucky to survive that. Players all over him.
Yeah, what's happening over here? Ball eventually into touch. Dave Brown leaving the field. So Gavin Jones coming on. Mortimer ending up with it. 'Cause 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 'Cause
Well, they're not giving me too much to say, Bill, are they? Hey, they've stopped.
Yes, they have. They've eased right off.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a magnificent show by the Queenslanders. They've really stuck it into them, haven't they?
Yes, it's a pity things have started to slow down in this last 10 or 15 minutes. But New South Wales running it on. Here's one of the men that's done a bit this time. It's Marty Gurr, and he's away again, and there's plenty Blues back inside. He's going to kick forward. They could be a chance of getting there. No, the first one there is going to be Steve Stacey, but he's lost it. Taken through on the toe by Ella. Ella cutting across field. This will be a try for sure. Anderson in for number 3. Chris Anderson over in the corner. New South Wales in again. They're up to 21 now.
And doing it on that occasion on a Mark Murray mistake in the end. I thought Mark had that well and truly covered. But see, sloppy defence from Queensland have allowed the Blues to get out from down in that quarter. And this Marty Gurr has caused us a bit of trouble in this second half.
Fullerton Smith going in, not putting him down. He's just a little bit too far away from him. Colin Scott taking Gurr out with him. But the kick is through there. Now Stacey will lose it. Here, towed through, picked up by Ella. Ella works across field, and then he has Anderson outside.
I blamed it on Mark Murray. It was Stacey, Bill, unfortunately, but not good stuff at all.
Three tries for Anderson tonight. There he is, going in for the third of them. And Michael Cronin has had tough kicks all night, but he's been able to put them over without any trouble. 3 from 3. This one's a little bit easier than his last one. Let's see how he goes with it. It's on its way, waved away. So the score remains Queensland leading New South Wales 37 points to 22. 7 minutes remaining here at Lang Park. I think everyone's just sort of come down with a giant thud now, Mick. Arthur looking up to the sky saying, come on, get this over.
Yes,
out of the road.
He wouldn't be happy with the way they've eased off. I don't think anyone is, and neither is Wally Lewis.
He gets the ball back over the quarter line. Coming in to pick it up is Brett Kenny. Dummy half is Max Krilich. This is Stan Jerd. He loses it in the tackle, picked up by Lewis. Now Queensland. Crowd starting to warm up a bit to the task. They want to try. They've had plenty so far tonight. That's Fullerton Smith. Dummy half Canescu. That's Gavin Jones. Jones 10 metres out for the New South Wales line. Back to Mark Murray. Murray trying to step his way through. Johnson up there to grab a hold of him. Lewis. Back to Astle. Astle knocked down. Canescu to dummy half. Back to Lewis. Lewis with a bomb. They all go up. New South Wales will end up with it, though. Man with the ball is Brett Kenny. Away from dummy half is Hastings. That's Cronin. So Cronin playing it now. And all the excitement got out of the match. Everyone sitting around silently. Max Krilich from dummy half. That's Hastings. Krilich. Krilich just on that quarter line. Ray Brown. Hastings. He's wrapped up though. Final tackle's on its way. Here's the kick by Miller. Looking for Ella coming through. He can't get the bounce, but Jerd does. And that's the end of the tackle count, so Stacey. Not getting far. Gene Miles. Tessman. Gene Miles again. Ollie Fullerton Smith to the quarter line. Dummy half Canescu. Mark Murray. Long one to Astle. He loses it. Stacey ends up with it. Touched by the opposition there. He's playing it on.
Oh, three-way advantage.
Steve Stacey didn't mind. Wally Lewis. That's Morton. Morton up the centre. Dummy half waiting there, Gene Miles. Lewis. The long one to Tessman. Tessman clapping it on. Got it back to Colin Scott. He loses it, though. He's following out after it. Could almost get it. No, it's flying loose. It'll be picked up by Stacey. He's lost it. Players losing it everywhere. Three minutes remaining. Waiting for this scrum to pack down now. Tries in the match for Queensland. 2 by Mitch Brennan. Tries also by Canescu, Stacey, Niebling and Brown. We've seen Mal Meninga put over 6 from 7. Scott none from 1. And of course that field goal by Wally Lewis. Mortimer running it out. Linking up nicely with Cronin. Cronin away to Ella. Ella starting to put it on. Back inside then to Anderson. Anderson tackle this time, but Mortimer's there. He loses it in the tackle. Mitch Brennan coming away with it. Brennan going to be put to the ground right on the quarter line. For New South Wales, tries by Anderson. He scored 3 of them. Mortimer a try. Cronin has put over 3 goals from 4 attempts. Now, here's Gavin Jones up over the quarter line. He's being chased this time from behind and pulled to the ground there by Hunt. Just didn't have enough pace to get away from him. Hunt holding on to Jones, and this will be a penalty.
If they took a quick tap, they would have been away then. Too busy congratulating each other, Steve Stacey and Gavin Jones. They should have gone on with rugby league and finished it.
There he is with the tackle coming through from Hunt. You can see they're holding on to him there. And then Gurr coming in over the top. So now it's Wally Lewis coming up to take the tap. He sends a long one floating out there. Gene Miles through the gap. He'll be a try. Miles is over besides the uprights. And Queensland get into the 40s, 41 to 22.
Oh, good stuff. Wally took a bit of a chance there, but that shows just how weak the New South Wales side is tonight. Miles had to wait for it to come to him on the half volley. A little bit of a step inside, and then ta-da, everybody. And it's great to see Gene Miles get a try because he's played great football in this series.
Here it is again, that big, long pass from Lewis to clear it across there. Miles looked as though he could have been in trouble there for a little bit. But then away he goes. And Marty Gurr arrives on the scene, but it's all over. Queensland 41, New South Wales 22. Well, what about players in the match, Mick?
Oh, well, all the Queenslanders have played well, particularly Dave Brown and Brad Tessman up in the front row. I feel that they took it to the New South Welshmen tonight in no uncertain terms, and they were the kings. And then once it got out into the back line, well, Wally Lewis had a fine game early when he was needed as great captain's knock. Mark Murray, Mal Meninga, Miles played superb football, and well, the other guys just went on. Colin Scott had a strong game at fullback tonight, and that was great to see because he needed a strong one after that New South Wales game. But it was a great team effort, but those particular guys were the guys that shoved it home to New South Wales early.
That's Brad Tessman. Still going, Tessman. Getting up to just on the halfway mark.
Had a very strong game. And for New South Wales, I was going to say nobody, but I would have to say Steve Mortimer did not give up all night. And he's probably the only one that can hold his head up in that New South Wales side. A dreadful exhibition by New South Wales, and the scoreboard doesn't indicate just how bad they are.
That's Brad Tessman taking it up again. Dummy half is Greg Canescu. Over to Mark Murray. Lewis. The long one to Miles. Miles held up on the halfway mark.
I might say, by repeating myself, Bill, I said that Jerd and company would be no chance of cover defending against that big Queensland back line, and I was correct. They just ran away with it early.
Okay, coming into the final seconds of the match now. Canescu sends it away to Wally Lewis. Lewis is going to put it up. There's kids coming on from everywhere, and the match isn't over as yet. Stan Jerd with it. The hooter goes down. It's all over. Queensland defeating New South Wales here at Lang Park by 43 points to 22. There's Arthur getting his congratulations. And people coming from everywhere. Those players really copping plenty out there in the middle. But a great performance. Queensland defeating New South Wales 43 points to 22. 43-22. You can see them. They're getting just about as much work in there as they have in the match tonight. Don't forget, of course, we'll have highlights of Queensland and New South Wales in our Rugby League show this coming Sunday morning here on Channel O. And our replay on Sunday night from Lang Park is the one between South and Redcliffe. That's at 6:30. And our viewers in Townsville and Cairns, that'll be after your movie up there. All right, Mick, well, that's it. Queensland winning the State of Origin series and doing it very well. There's the back part, as you can see. Dave Brown at the back there. And all of those Queensland players very happy with themselves in taking out the series. All right, well, that's it, 43-22. And we'll be back on Sunday, Michael.
Yes, and I enjoyed this one, Phil, and at last I've picked a winner.
All right, to our viewers throughout the state, thanks for being with us tonight. Till we're back with you on Sunday, Billy J. Smith and Mick Beavers signing off from a very happy Lang Park tonight.
Tonight's State of Origin League game was brought to you by Castlemaine Perkins, brewers of 4X.